Hey, what's good, everybody? I'd like to welcome you all back to the Boombox Guru channel. I'm your host, LB. So I got another concert review for you all. I know it's been a while since I did a concert review. I think the last one I did was the Judas Priest Sabaton show. But Monday, me and three of my friends, we had the pleasure of going to the Fillmore down in Charlotte, and we got to see the Powerwolf Unleash the Archer show. Both of those bands have been on tour this year. It was my first time seeing both bands. The second time for the three friends I went with, it was their second time seeing Unleash the Archers, but it was all of our first times seeing Powerwolf. Unleash the Archers, a Canadian power metal band. They've been killing it for the past several years. I mean, they've been together for a while, but I would say around 2015 is when they really started to really make a name for themselves in the underground metal scene. Powerwolf, German power metal band. I think this is their second time of actually touring the U.S. And it might have been this might have been their first time actually coming to Charlotte. I'm not quite sure about that. If I'm wrong about that, please leave it in the comments. But I guarantee you, I think both bands are definitely going to come back to Charlotte, man, because this was such a great show. I mean, the show was packed. It was sold out. As a matter of fact, when we got to the venue, when we got to the Fillmore, man, that line was so long. That's the longest that I've ever seen a line at the Fillmore. I mean, the line started all the way down to where the Fillmore is, all the way around the underground, all the way to the other side where uh we ended up at was over there where I think there's like a comedy club over there around the corner. Down at the bottom there's a comedy club. There's all kinds of other like venues and stuff in that whole area if you're familiar with where the Fillmore in Charlotte is. But it was right there where the comedy club was. That's how far the line was wrapped around the venue. And good thing we had VIP tickets. We initially forgot that when you have VIP tickets, you get in quicker. So when we realized that, we walked all the way back down to where the VIP line was, and we got in much faster, which I'm really glad we did because that line was so long that I think when Unleash the Archers actually started their set, a lot of people missed some of the songs because if I can recall, they were still like piling people in when Unleash the Archers was performing. But you know how a lot of people do. A lot of people only they buy tickets and they only show up for like the headliner band, which I think is ridiculous because you're paying money to see every band, even if you're not familiar with the band. You never know, you might end up becoming a fan. But people were there equal. It was like this is like a co-heading. This was like a co-headlining tour, in my opinion, because everybody was there to see Unleash the Archers just as much they were there to see Powerwolf. I mean, both fan bases were very represented at the venue that night. But man, I was really excited to see Unleash the Archers. I've been a big fan of them ever since I discovered them. I think back in 2017, and I'll show you guys right quick because I do really like this band a lot. I'm not just saying this for the sake of the video, but I have most of their studio albums except for the first two albums, which I might get later. But just to show you right quick, I got a Time Stand Still right here. Uh, got the Apex. This was the first Unleash the Archers that I bought. This was the album that got me into the band. Got Apex. Let's see, I have Abyss right here. And I have the current album. The current album, Phantoma, right here. I pre-ordered this one when it was announced. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys just that I am a big fan of Unleash the Archers, man, and I was really excited to see them. But I got to tell you, they put on such a wonderful set, Unleash the Archers. I'm not really familiar. I'm not all that familiar with the songs from the new album. I do know they performed a few songs from this record. I just haven't really spent a lot of time with listening to this album just yet. So I wasn't all that familiar with those new songs as they were performing them at this set. But once they started getting into the classics, man, I was really into it, man. They went through the Matriarch, several songs from the Abyss. But my favorite moment was when they performed Tonight We Ride, because that's easily my favorite Unleash the Archer song. When I heard that song, that was the one that really where I really realized just how great this band really is. You know, just great. I mean, the highlight of that set was when they did Tonight We Ride, because Brittany Slays, I mean, she is a great front woman. She really commands the stage during her performances, and she just killed it vocally. She just killed it when she hit those high registers on Tonight We Ride. The whole crowd, everybody in attendance, just was just blown away. That was like the favorite part of their set, was when they did Tonight We Ride. But they did such a great job, and they sounded just like they do on the records. And what I mean by that is, usually when you hear a band performing live, it may not always sound what you hear. It may not always sound exactly like what you hear on the record, for better or for worse. But in this case, it was for better. They just sounded great. They just sounded awesome. Like, there was nothing that sounded off about anything, from Britney's vocals to everybody else in the band, their musicianship and their playing. Everything was just on point. The sound was good in the venue. I mean, they just really killed that set, and it was just a real treat to finally get the opportunity to see them live up close and personal. And I'm so glad that we had VIP tickets, man, because that floor was packed. I'm pretty sure that Unleash, the Archers, and Powerwolf sold out that show, because that floor was packed. And I mean, by the time we got there anyway, man, there was practically no room on the floor anyway. So I'm just really glad that we had those VIP tickets where we actually could sit down and really look at the band without much trouble or anything like that. But it was a real good set from them. Now, getting into Powerwolf, because Powerwolf was the headlining band. Now, I'm not the biggest Powerwolf fan, I'll tell you that. I do like the band. I got into them right around the same time I got into Unleash the Archers. And I do own 2 of their albums. I have Preachers of the Night right here. And The Sacrament of Sin right here. So yeah, those are the only 2 Powerwolf albums that I really own. Good albums. I think Powerwolf is a great band. 2 of my friends, I think they have every Powerwolf album on CD except for the recent album that they put out. But they're real big fans of them. But even though I wasn't all that familiar with every song aside from the ones on these 2 albums that I own, it was still a great set. I mean, even the songs I wasn't really all that familiar with, when they played them, I was just into it because of the sheer energy that Powerwolf gave. And let me tell you, they are a very entertaining band. Very fun, great with interacting with the crowd. We all know that Powerwolf has a sense of humor, and they really show that. They really showed that at a Monday night show. They joked around with the crowd. They did little funny moments on stage. But just that whole crowd participation and the crowd interaction, man, that was just really cool to see that. I mean, they just really gave back that energy, man, and it just made their performance just also greater, man. And everything that they played was just awesome. I mean, they sounded good. They sounded really good. Just that energy. I mean, even the songs I didn't know, it just made you want to headbang. It just made you get into it because of the great performance and the energy that they gave back to the crowd. But they did such a great job at performing. They also had one of the best encore sets that I've ever heard. Like, their encore set, that's got to be my favorite encore set thus far. I think it was initially like maybe 3 or 4 songs that they did for the encore, but they actually came back and performed one more song, because when they left the stage, nobody left. Everybody stayed down there and just yelled out Powerwolf and started chanting one more song. And they actually came back out on stage and performed one more song for us. And this being only their second time touring in the US, I really think that they're gonna start coming here more often. I don't know about the other shows, but I'm pretty sure that they've had a great reception on this tour in the US. So I'm looking forward to seeing Powerwolf more often. And I definitely think that they're going to be coming back to Charlotte again. I think Charlotte is definitely going to be one of their main stops on tour for both bands. I think this is going to be their main stop because they just had such a great reception from the crowd. And you could really tell that they were feeding off the energy that we were giving them. They just really looked like they was up on stage having just as much of a good time as we were. So I really believe that both Unleash the Archers and Powerwolf will be making Charlotte probably one of their main stops in the future when they're touring, man. And I'm really glad that they had such a great turnout, especially for Powerwolf. You know, them being from Germany and them not really coming to the U.S. that more often. I'm really glad that they've had such a great reception on this tour, because that means that they're going to probably come back here more often, and it really shows that they have a big fan base over here. So moving along, another thing that I really thought was really cool about the show was that I saw a lot of young kids at this show. And that's something that I've been picking up on a lot lately. The more shows I've been going to, the more I've been noticing that there's been a lot of young kids at the shows. And I mean, we seen little kids at the show. There were little kids at this show. And I thought that was amazing. I thought it was cool to see that, you know, heavy metal music is reaching younger generations. Cause the reason why I want to acknowledge that and reason why I want this to be something important to take notice of is because, you know, there's this whole narrative that's floating around, particularly on the internet, that rock is dying, that metal is dying. You know, there's a few YouTubers that's been making videos talking about rock is boring, metal is boring, that it's dying and all that, and it's not true. It's not true. And some of you can probably guess one particular YouTuber that does that. As a matter of fact, this particular person, I think they made a video maybe like a month or two ago talking about this, which is something that they seem to always want to talk about, because I honestly don't think that this YouTuber has any more ideas as far as like what to talk about on their channel. You know, and that person kind of alluded, pretty much said that in a so-called emotional video that they made not too long ago as well. But I digress on that. But I just don't think that that's true. I think that that's just a narrative that certain people are trying to push. Particularly, I think the music industry is trying to push that. I think they're trying to dictate to people what metal is. I think they're trying to push a lot of like the modern stuff that's happening. Cause, and I'm not trying to show any disrespect, but you know, we've been seeing a lot of like core bands pop up here lately. And is that being like the more trendy, popular thing in metal? And some of these bands aren't really metal per se. They have metal tendencies, but they're not exactly metal per se. But I just feel like the industry is trying to kind of push that as being what metal is now. It's the same thing that they've tried to do to hip hop. You know, they've tried to push that, oh, this is what hip hop is now. You know, there's certain people in the music industry that are trying to push a certain type of thing in hip hop music to try to say this is what hip hop is now. It's the same thing. But from what I saw at that show, when seeing these young kids at these shows, that's really showing me that that's not true. That whole rock is dying or metal is dying, whole thing that's being pushed is being debunked. It's being debunked. I mean, I guess people are worried about, well, what's gonna happen when Iron Maiden and Metallica and all these bands retire. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. We haven't crossed that bridge yet to know what's gonna happen. But all I can really say is by what I saw at Monday Night Show, when I see these young kids, little kids, and parents bringing their kids to these shows and stuff, when I seen that, I was like, yo, there's no way that this music is dying. Nah, it's growing. And I seen young kids in the audience, in the crowd. They were singing along to the music. They were into it. And that was what was so great about that show, was the diverse crowd. You know, you got older, you got my age group, and you had younger. That's what I thought was so cool. So yeah, heavy metal is not going anywhere. It's definitely here to stay. Hard rock and metal is definitely here to stay. And it's reaching generations and generations. And this is something that I've seen at other shows, like at the Judas Priest Sabaton show. There was kids at that show that knew some of those songs. I seen little kids down there singing along to some of Judas Priest songs. I mean, matter of fact, in that video, I talked about how a 9-year-old kid was down there. How the lead vocalist of Sabaton he spotted a 9-year-old kid down there in the audience, rocking out to their music. So that's just a little bit of a rant that I wanted to like put out there, that, you know, people saying that rock is dying, they don't know what they're talking about. They're probably not even going to a lot of these shows to really know what's going on. But the past few shows that I've been going to, I've seen a lot of young people. I mean, these were kids that look like they might have had school the next morning. That's how young they looked. And that was just amazing to me, and it was hopeful. It was hopeful. It really showed me that yeah, that's not true. That's not the case. But that medal was here to say. But let me fast forward. Let me move along here because I don't want this to be an overlong video. But let me show you my cool shirt that I got right here. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, this is the shirt that I got right here. Hope you all can see that. Yeah, this is the shirt that I bought at the show. As you can see, it's Unleash the Archers, but it's representing both bands. You know, you see the big werewolf, and then you see the archer down there at the bottom, and then it's got the tour dates back here on the back. I try to get the shirts to have the tour dates on it. So I'm glad I found the cool shirt with the tour dates on it. USA Canada 2024. So wait a minute, when did this tour start? It started on the 8th. So that's August 29th in Los Angeles. That's where it started. Hollywood Palladium. Okay, yeah. But yeah, that's a cool shirt that I got at the show, man. Look forward to wearing this. Really cool shirt. But yeah, man, that's it. That's pretty much it for this concert review of Unleash the Archers of Powerwolf. Hold up, let me check and see. I think they might still be on the tour, are they? Yeah, the last date is actually Sunday. Yeah, the last date is actually Sunday, so they are still on the tour. It's in I think it's in Quebec. Yeah, it's in Quebec. The last day is in Quebec on Sunday on the 15th of this month. But yeah, man, I just wanted to make this quick concert review because I know it's been a while since I made any kind of videos because I kind of been taking a break from like the whole social media thing. But anyway, man, I just wanted to make this quick concert review and let all you know about this Unleash the Archers Powerwolf tour. Like I said, the tour is winding down. You know, like Sundays be the last day. So for those of you if you missed it, you know, I just want to let you know whenever these bands, whether they tour again, whether it be together or separately, definitely go check them out because they are great live. You will not be disappointed. You're definitely going to get your money's worth. Be sure to get there early though. If you want, unless you got VIP tickets, try to get there early to get a good spot on the floor because, man, when we got there, I'm telling you, man, if we didn't have those VIP tickets, man, I might not have been giving such a good review, honestly. But yeah, make sure you get there early if you want to get a good spot on that floor because, man, when we got there, that line was wrapped all the way around that freaking area, man. It was crazy. But yeah, great show. Highly recommend you go see Powerwolf Unleash the Archers. And I'm looking forward to seeing them again in the future, man, because I really think they're gonna come back, especially Powerwolf. I really think Powerwolf is gonna start touring here in the U.S. because I believe they've really gotten a great reception in touring here, man. So I'm looking forward to that. Shout out to both bands, Unleash the Archers and Powerwolf. You know, two heavy metal bands that's out there keeping heavy metal going, making great music, and just check them out if you haven't. Check out their music, check out their albums if you haven't. Some great bands. You know I wouldn't steer you wrong. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up and give me a like. Also, share the video and subscribe to the channel because it does help out a lot. Just want to give a huge shout out to everybody that's been watching and supporting the channel, that's been leaving positive comments and so forth. I really do appreciate it. And as always, hope everybody has a blessed day, a blessed week, and love, peace, and music. Peace out, y'all.